Okay, let's rotate this just a little bit. Ready, go. Okay, here we are, and we've got our star, our world champion, Sarah LaFond. I know people have wanted me to interview her, so here she is. So Sarah, something I want to know is, what sports were you involved with before arm wrestling? Because obviously you were athletic before you started arm wrestling.
Yes.
So what did you do?
Growing up, I did gymnastics, and that's kind of where I developed my upper body strength. And so when I was a little girl, I would challenge the boys in my classes to arm wrestle because I had upper body strength from gymnastics, and I'd beat them. That's actually kind of what made me think to do the sport then later as an adult. And I did pole vaulting. I did a little bit of swimming, a little bit of diving, a little bit of cross country. So I've always been involved in athletics.
Starting at what age? Like how?
I started gymnastics when I think I was like 8, maybe.
Okay.
I was not very good at it, but it gave me that upper body strength. So, yeah.
Awesome. So then, as you progressed and you got older, and not that you're old.
Getting there.
I can tell you about being old. So like 2 years ago, I guess, is when you started arm wrestling?
Yeah.
How'd you find out about
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really my dad and I had talked about it because I really wanted a competitive outlet. I'd been lifting weights for a long time, starting when I was a teenager with my dad and then just getting more serious as I was an adult. And I just felt like I needed a competitive outlet. So all the muscle I was building wasn't just pure vanity, you know? And so upper body had always been my strong point, and I had liked to arm wrestle as a kid. And my dad was like, well, that's a sport, like Google it. And so I just did. I Googled it. I came across the Facebook page for this practice, and that was it. Just came one day.
Wow. So you came here, Bob took you under his wing. Is that right?
Bob took me under his wing a little bit later. Bob doesn't give time to people unless he thinks they're serious. So it took about a year to earn Bob's time. Prior to that, Craig Toulier was here at the time, and he helped me out a lot. So he was kind of one of my initial mentors. And then once Bob saw that I was taking it seriously, then Bob took me under his wing too.
And he's been promoting women for arm wrestling pretty strong, hasn't he? So once you got involved in it, and Craig, you say Craig helped you, and he helped you in here with technique and different things. Did he help you outside of here with your workouts outside of here? Yeah,
he did. I would message him and stuff, ask about workouts I could do to strengthen my wrists and my hands, and he would send me stuff. Luke has also been great about that. Luke sends me tons of stuff, helps train me. So between those 3 amazing arm wrestlers, I've really been lucky. I have a lot of great mentors.
So friends. Bob Brown, Luke Polsher, and Craig Toulier.
That's right.
Oh, pretty good guys to learn from.
Pretty good stack, right?
Good for you. So then, what were your goals when you first started? Did you ever think you were going to compete in the Worlds?
No. I mean, heavens, I didn't even know Worlds was a thing. I just, like I said, wanted a competitive outlet. It seemed like I pretty quickly realized, I went to my first tournament in the first couple months and I got first left. So I realized, okay, I have like something of an inclination for it and just needed to really develop skill and stuff like that. And so after a few months of not taking it very seriously, I decided I really wanted to go for it. And then when the group of guys, who all was it? Bob and Robert and a few other people got together and said they'd give $1,000 to anyone who wanted to go represent at IFA.
Robert Baxter.
Robert Baxter, yeah. And Baird. What's his first name?
Devin?
It might have been a couple others, but they said that they would sponsor people to go to that. And Jolene Anderson was like, okay, let's do this. She's, one of my favorite people in the community. And so she pushed me and made it happen.
Wow. So, and then you ended up winning.
Yes.
From a come behind B-side, right? So you had to win twice.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the match. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't give up.
No.
Which is amazing. Very competitive. So now, as you progress in the sport and you do compete with other women, you've traveled around, you've gone all the way from like California to how far east have you gone?
Ooh, how far? Florida.
All the way to Florida.
Yeah, Florida's the farthest east I've competed.
What tournament was that?
I can't remember. They had kind of like a FitCon kind of event, and I just happened to be in Florida visiting family, and I went to it. But they don't have a lot of women in Florida. I actually got to pull in the men's. I only beat one, but I got one win in, which is pretty good.
What weight class was that?
What was it? 170?
176, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
How much do you weigh?
I vary between 125 and 130. So, yeah, I did okay.
Pretty good. Good for you. So then, who do you see right now as your main competition?
I have a few. Haley Johnson and I go back and forth, right? She will beat me sometimes, and I'll beat her other times, and so I'm always working to. I think we really motivate each other to stay strong. You know, Megan Blake has been consistently beating me right-handed lately, and so that's another one. And then Sarah Latona, I haven't gotten to pull her in a couple years, honestly, since I was pretty new at the sport. But I would like to see how I do against her now that I have some more technique and stuff since the last time I pulled her. There are lots of amazing, strong women in the sport, but those are some of the main ones. And then there are other women who have moved into the area or started taking the sport, picked it back up. So really, I feel like almost everyone in the area is kind of my competition now. Michelle Smart's getting back into it. Jessie just moved here. Jessie, I can't remember her last name either.
Yeah.
Yes. She's very strong. So really, Utah has so many strong women that you've got to, at this point, stay on top of your game if you want to be a competitor.
Right, right. Yeah, there's new faces coming up
all the time.
And with Bob promoting it, and bringing people in, there you go. Yeah, so everybody's trying to grow the sport. You're doing your fair share. I know anyone who watches the channel is familiar with you. You're in a lot of the events that I film. And so what's the next big event you're going to do?
I'm not sure about next big event. That's a good question. I've kind of slowed down a little bit since Worlds. Still training, still practicing, but kind of trying to decide what my next big thing is. I'll be at all the local stuff. I'm considering doing IFA again this year, but I've got, lots of stuff going on with my work and everything, trying to decide if it's manageable. I'd love to.
It's in Greece this year.
It's in Greece, which is my dream vacation. So arm wrestling in Greece, hard to go wrong, right? So I am considering it, but training and seeing how I feel. So.
And so have you been pretty healthy? I know you had trouble with your left for a while.
Left elbow got hurt a year ago at Bob's tournament, but it's totally recovered now. I feel stronger than ever on my left, really. Giving it 6 months off made a big difference. So yeah, I feel healthy. It's just making sure I feel strong enough to be a competitor. I don't like going if I don't feel like I'm a competitor. So
good. And now, have you competed in the World Series of Arm Wrestling, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And you went to California for that?
I went to California the first year, but I've never gone to the second, like the finals. I've qualified for the finals both times, but the finals have always kind of coincided with Bob's tournament. And I can't really do I don't feel like I can do 2 arm wrestling tournaments 2 weekends in a row. So I've always just prioritized Bob's. So, yeah.
Oh, good for you. All right. So we've covered past tournaments coming up. Now, you said local tournaments. So like Utah State in February. You're going to do that one?
Yes, up in Ogden. Planning on doing that one. And then what are some other ones we have around here? There's always the one in the summer, Rumble at the Rainbow.
You have the Idaho tournaments.
Idaho I usually do in June. There's a Pocatello one. So yeah, just definitely all the local ones, and then seeing how I feel at all those, if I feel strong enough to go this summer. I think qualifiers for IFAs in Pennsylvania, I believe. So we'll see if I can make that.
Oh, I thought it was in Ohio.
It might be Ohio. One of the two. They're right next to each other. Right?
That's true. They are. Being from Pennsylvania, I would know that. And so with the Utah State, they have teams.
Yes.
Last year you were on the winning team.
I was, yes.
Tactical Arms.
I'm wearing my tactical arms.
And it's funny, like I was supposed to be on that team as well with the Masters. And of course I started my own team. I had already started one and I was committed to those guys.
Yeah.
Did not compete on tactical arms. Wish I had. We would have gotten first. Instead we got third. Are you going to be doing it again this year with them?
I assume we'll put a team together. We haven't talked yet, but I mean, I don't know. I like to win, so.
Well, just so you know, Utah Arm Wrestling has already put together a team. And I do have someone that's going to go head-to-head with you.
Okay. All right. So I'll be ready.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Sarah. I appreciate the time and coming early to practice at Bob's Barn.
Of course.
Yay.